So thank you all for joining my session today. So this is about the journey of a citizen developer, beginning of citizen developer. And first of all, I want to thank our sponsors for this great event. I hope you all have already a beautiful day today with all the great sessions they had. And of course, welcome to my session. I'm Angelique Grootenboer. I'm a citizen developer. I'm still living in the Netherlands for a few weeks because after a few weeks I will move. If you want to connect with me, you can connect by email or by LinkedIn or Twitter. So if you have after my session questions or stuff like that, don't hesitate to contact me. Quickly in between. So this is for the agenda for today. First I will talk about my beginning of my journey, how I went through, what my history was and stuff like that. And then about my building my first app and my struggles with it, and what my future goals are. So yeah, this is about my journey. So where did I come from? I worked at a non-technical company, Fileo Zakelijk Incasso. That is a debt collection agency, but I worked there as a outsourcing person. But before that, I had a lot of other scenes I saw. For example, I went to healthcare with children and with all elderly people. So I had also lots of other administrative work. And during my studies, during my work days already, I was always helping people with their IT problems. For example, if a teacher was like, hey, I cannot connect my slides to the beamer or to the screen. Who does know how to work this? And I was most of the time the one that says, I can help you, let's check it out. Or a student next to me said, hey, I don't know how to work with Excel, or hey, how do I make a PowerPoint presentation? I was there to help them. Also, I did help with my husband's company sometimes, his previous company, because things are changed now, like this month. One moment. So during this changing, I was also, okay, good to change. And with him, I helped with installing a computer or putting network there for the printer or stuff like that. So I was always helping people. And people asked me during that time already from, hey, why are you not already in IT? And my answer basically was, I have a husband, he's in IT. So why do I need to go there? Because I don't need it. If I have questions about my IT stuff, I will go to him. And yeah, during that day, I was like, no, it's not for me. But after a while, we had a lot of dreams. So we met already through him because he's already a speaker in the Azure community. He went also to an low code, no code conference as a niche that they have a track for Azure. So we went there, we met there a lot of great people, and then the pandemic hit. So after everyone was closed, everyone was at home. So yeah, of course you want to have something else during these days. So they started a social call like every Thursday to call with each other, like talk with each other, so that we can stay connected and meeting people. And that was mostly from the no code, low code community. And we were already invited there. We met a great peoples there at the previous conference, but during that, yeah, was like, okay, this is a nice crowd. And they told them their stories, basically about, I worked in healthcare, but I want to have something easier, so I started to learn Power Platform, so Power Apps, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, good. And then another one was a bus driver, or you had for kindergarten people, or some people were already there that told their story to me, and I was like, okay, cool. And after a while, half year or a year later, my husband went, hey, I'm going to apply for a job, but the job will be not in the Netherlands but in America, or Canada. So I was like, yeah, go for it. If you want to do this job, why not? But then came the question, what are you going to do? And I was like, shoot. I do everything what I do in the Netherlands now was like, or that in the Netherlands was with Dutch law. So I needed kind of other things to do. So I was like, okay, but I hear great stories about people that went to Power Apps and they are making career out of it. If they can do it, I can do it. So I went, okay. During one of the social calls, I went to a friend of mine, Chris, and he said, I told him, hey, I want to change my career and I want to go to Power Apps. And he asked me, okay, cool, let's meet up after some days when we are not in a social call, not drinking with each other, just when we are sober, so to say. So we met up later on, and he asked me, okay, how are you with the computers, with Excel and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay with Excel. I have a feeling with it, and so I can do stuff with it. So yeah, why not? So he said, okay, you can go to Microsoft Learn. And Microsoft Learn, you get there a whole journey how to start with learning the path. And I went through that and I was like, okay, this is fun. Because I saw a lot of similarities with building an app and building something with Lego, because I'm a lot of Lego. I love Lego. Probably see already behind myself also Lego sets, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of makes sense how things work. So yeah, now I want to build my that path. I was like, okay, now I want to build my own app, and I was like, okay, where can I find my inspiration, or what kind of app can I build? Or I had a lot of questions. Okay, what am I going to do? So I had, okay, I can something do at home, or I can do something for work, or for someone in my circle, in my inner ring circle of people I know. And I was like, okay, you know what? I have at my previous job, I had for 3 different customers. And for these 3 customers, I needed to go open Excel. Each one has their own Excel document and put in there my time, how long I took for one thing. And I was like, okay, maybe I can make this easier. You know what? I will make there an app for that. I can make like an app that I can put all clients in there and write down my time. And at the end of the month, I can let the app make their own overview of my time and send it to my boss. Let's start building that. So I was like, okay, I need to build my app now. And building my app, I went to like, okay, what kind of app I will start with? What do I use for this? Do I use Canvas app or model-driven app? Yeah, so I was thinking for what I'm going to do. So after that, I was thinking, okay, model-driven app. I cannot find something that will fit my view what I want to have for my build. I mean, I had already in my mind, okay, I want this and this and this. But I could not find it on model-driven app. So I went for a Canvas app. Just a blank space, and I put in there my 3 Excel documents I already had, and they made a bundle of information. And this is the view of it. So I was like, okay, you have here a bundle of all data. These are not correctly with week numbers and times, and you see multiple week numbers, but hey, it's something. So I was like, okay, a lot of information you see here. And these came from 3 different Excel documents. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to make it a little bit more, that you can see more and know more. So you know what? Just make first an index, because without an index, you don't know for which company you work for or you want to work with or need to work with, because you're doing their job now. So I did, okay, I make an index. And then on the index, I can click on all buttons there, but yeah, I can click to customer and see their information there. So I got then a list of data from that customer. And these are all the data from that customer on the Excel sheet I made. So you see the date and you see the time, but the time you can, the view of this, you can change already how you want that. For example, I want this more like only the date and not with the time behind it, because like, yeah, fun the time, but has no value. So I needed to change that. So you can change the layout and information you want to see. And if I click on one of the dates, I can get a view of that date. And there you see the date of the work list you needed to prepare in the system. For example, I had for one customer, I got payments that needed to be put in our system, and you needed to do that by hand. So I put in the date of the list, and then I put in who does that, when we did it, on which date, and then the beginning time, if you did a break or took a break like for lunch or just a quick smoke, or if someone smokes. And then you put in the end date, and after that, you see the total time that you worked at it. And I was like, okay, it's not correctly in this sheet, but hey, it's something. And of course, this you can also change the layout, how you want this information to be viewed. So I was like, okay, cool. This is a lot of fun to build. But yeah, sometimes you have also that you need to change date of the overview you have, or you need to add one. And the change and to add one, you go to the plus sign or to the pencil sign, and you can work with that. I was like, okay, sure, let's do that. So then you click on that, and then you get the fill in form. You can see everything I wanted to have in my information, your date of the list that I got from my customer. You can put in the person that does the work, the day when you are working on the list of the customer. Then I wanted to have the automated that it will be shown which week number it is. Then your beginning time you can add there, your break time you can add there, and then your end time, and then the total after break time. It will be automatically staying there, like, okay, you worked for this client for 2 hours, or for this list for 2 hours, or for that list or for that customer you work for 5 hours or less, or 30 minutes or 15 minutes. It depends on how long you took and what you put in there. But of course, if there's already an overview of the date, then you see all the information coming back here, and you can change it, like, okay, it was the wrong date, or the wrong time, the beginning of time, or the end time, or your break, you get a little bit more break or a little bit less break. So you can change this still on this form. And of course, if you want to know, hey, did I do this correctly? You want to know. Of course, you want to know if it worked. So after that, I made 2 screens. One was this was successfully completed, or there was an error. Yeah. So if it was completed, and you click on completed, and you get the whole overview again of the customer. And if there was an error in it, that you put something wrong with, for example, you put in a dot instead of double dots or something like that, you can change it or skip or stuff like that. You did something wrong, you can go back to the fill in form and do it again. And of course, if you saw that there were still stuff in the application that's not working great, what I wanted to have in the future for this app was the automatic report in Excel, because I needed to go for every end of the month. I needed to send my boss an email like, hey, this was the overview for this week or this month, and I took this kind of time for this. So that the report came back in an Excel document, because my boss wanted to have it in Excel, or automatic the mail for the report, that it's automatic made an Excel document and then automatically sent the report to my boss. The status of all week numbers that will be combined, a week number, and in the week number you see all days in there, and what did you do every day for the customer. Like I told in the beginning already, I don't work anymore at the company. So I stopped working on the application already for a half year now. That was because my boss already said, okay, I don't need it anymore, so it's okay. For me, it was like, okay, cool. It was fun working with this. Only, of course, during the build, I had a few struggles. So I had struggles with like, okay, how can I change this kind of code or low code or sentence to, for example, I want to make that automatically wrote down how much time I took for that it will calculate it itself. This is my starting time, this is my end time. Did I have a break somewhere in between? Minus that, that's the time you work with. For example, for that, I was like, okay, I went first looking on the internet, on Google, or on the documentation from Microsoft that's also on the site of Microsoft Learn. I was looking there and was like, okay, I cannot find it. So what do you do then? Okay, I know a few people, but what would I do if I don't know people in this community? I was like, okay, you can go to Twitter or go to a conference, or if there's conference in between and you see, hey, this is an epic topic because it's complete my what I'm working at now, and maybe they know the answer, and or do I have a colleague that knows it? Or, for example, I did it. Then I started. I had already friends in the community, but I was like, okay, if I did not have any friends, I would probably go to Twitter, or that I can put it on Twitter or LinkedIn, like, hey, I have this problem. Can someone help me? And later on, I find that you have also Slack. You can also put there your question, if you know, if you can find out where to go. But most people I knew that didn't know someone in the community, they went, okay. For example, I know that people from IT communities go to Twitter. So most likely, if I've tweeted something like that there, with, of course, the correct hashtags, but you learn that already during your time you are learning the path, you can ask the question there. And I was like, okay, great. And while you are on Twitter, you meet there also people. They can help you with your answer or with your question. If they cannot, they will send you to someone else. For example, I had about the question I had. I was okay. I will first ask in my friend group and go there like, hey, can you help me? And they said, yeah, sure. So they and looking at me and they said, okay, I'm not a person that can help you here, but if you ask this kind of person, he will or she will know what, or them will know what you need, and then you will go connect with them, and that helped also a lot. What also helps is go to a hackathon. You can learn also a lot of ways how to build something, and you connect with people, and through the connection you have with a person there, you can connect to another group of people because that person knows another group, and then you can get to know that group, and then that group can go with another group. So the whole community, if you want to have, if you have a question, they will help you. They will definitely help you. If you don't know what to do or how to work at, just ask the question to people and they will help you. It's a great community. So after I was building my app, I was like, okay, cool. But during that, there was also someone else in my friend group that said, maybe can do also something else. And that something else, they said to me, you know, you can also talk about your journey, because people want to listen to that, because it's not like you came from a study and you went into it. And I was like, yeah, but that's scary. It's talking to people and to a screen, and or to, for now, for example, to a screen, because still some pandemic happening. It's less, but still. I was like, okay, but it's still scary. So she told me, okay, tell me what you did and how you did it. And she said to me, okay, that's your story. So basically, what I told you now, she pushed me into going to talk to about it. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went, I started at the same conference as my, not the same, but I started at the conference. We met a lot of low code, no code people, like from Power Apps. And there I went, okay, you know what? I will try this talk there. And I was invited there as a new speaker. That's now almost a year ago. Yeah, last year I started to talk about my journey. And I was like, okay, during my journey there, I was already like, okay, my previous job, I was not happy there. And I was like, okay, you know what? I need to go further in the IT, so further in Power Apps. And then you need to learn more. And that's how I went to, I still go to study. And during my study, I can still, I could still work. And my studying now is now on hold. Because like I told you guys in during my session already, we make a move to Canada, because my husband got the job, and the job said, okay, we cannot move you now in America, but you can first go to Canada. So beginning of this month, my husband went already to Canada, but we had still stuff here in the Netherlands to do. So yeah, and during my studies, so now is my studying on hold, and after I will be moved there end of next month, I will go back to studying, because during my studying I noticed, okay, if I want to work in this, I need a certification, because everything I did before this uh, had nothing to do on real paper with IT. It was always, oh yeah, she knows a little bit about IT, but I could not tell how, for example, build an app or how you can manage that. So I was like, okay, you know what? During my studies, I want to have the certification. I want to have the certification for fundamentals. And last year I tried already 2 times. Um, Unfortunately, I did not pass them. Probably the first time I did the exam, I was like, oh my gosh, this is English. Oh my gosh, this is scary. Because I did not know how they would ask the questions, or what I needed to think about it. So I was like, okay, that's the first time trying. If I not pass it, then you know what, you can do another time. And half year late, then I did not pass. Then I went to uh, join some videos about the certification, what you need to do, and stuff like that. So learning path there. And then I wanted to apply for another time doing the exam. And then the website broke down on me because I could not sign in for any certification or any exam. I was like, okay, shoot, I'm going now on holiday. I cannot do now because I'm on holiday. So yeah, then I was like, okay, you know what? After my holiday, I will block again and study again. And 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, I will do the exam again. And I did the exam again. I was like, okay, shoot, I did not pass because I was too much in my space. Okay, too busy with my work at the time. The stress about my husband maybe getting a job, that we're going to move. So it was not the perfect timing for me to make sure to do the exam. But in the meanwhile, if I had a question about something um, for the exam or some stuff you need to know, basically you need to know the journey of the steps you learn at Microsoft Learn. You need to know that, but you need also to know how to build stuff. And I noticed before I did only make one app yet, and I noticed now, okay, I did not pass it because I had a little bit of knowledge about Power BI. And I was like, okay, for that, I need to study more. I need to build more apps. So that's what I'm going to do after I move. I will go build more apps. So it's a morning here, so it's a little bit, my stomach's now burning like, hey, you need to eat, but I will finish first my session. So yeah, I was like, okay, I can study more when I'm going to move, and then I will try to go to a class first. For example, I will build more apps, because after my certification, I want to have a job in this spectrum, of course, and for that I need to have more knowledge about building an app, or building something. So I need to go deep dive in learning. Um, I will go back to learning again, and I will start from scratch again. And after that, I will go like, okay, if I have my certification, I will ask my friends, of course, hey, I have my certification. Do you know somewhere that there's a job available? Or I go on LinkedIn, and then I will go free LinkedIn or on sites from companies. I'm going to look there for maybe a job. But what kind of job? I'm not sure yet. I'm open. And of course, it's scary. Um, the struggles for this kind of things always like, okay, do I know enough? Do I more than I need to do? Yeah, it's a lot of scary things. And yeah, after that, I no, I'm talking too fast. My journey is still walking. I'm still Power Apps, how to build some stuff. Uh, if I had, I during my during last year, I met already great people and went talking on stage. I went to have my sessions about this, and I did also one time a hackathon. It learned, it made my eye open. Like, okay, there's still a lot to learn, but I'm not afraid to do that. And for example for tips and tricks for people that's not yet working there or thinking about to learn it. Yeah.
हाँ कौन
Yeah.
अरे हाँ बोल
So that was, I guess, someone got accidentally unmuted. Please continue.
Sorry, no problem. I was like, hey, is there a question? Um, okay. If you know tips for like, hey, do you want to start in this? Go first to Microsoft Learn and to the learning pad for the fundamentals there first, because you get a lot of information from that. If you have done that, go build your own apps. And yeah, if you struggle with it, go on Twitter, go on or contact someone you met through sessions you joined. And don't be afraid to ask questions, because there are questions and there's no dumb questions, only dumb answers sometimes, but that's to make a joke out of it. But yeah, just ask questions if you don't know it. And of course, it's scary, but you know, sometimes you need to take a step of leap, or yeah, you need to take a chance to do something else. Yeah, I'm really quick. Are there already questions for me?